Welcome to the Grimdark Chronicles. Something of mystery, an information repository, and a place of history and bygone times. With the archival world of Calliope lost to heretical treachery, now only a few data repositories remain. The life of a space marine is one of absolute devotion, steeped in a daily routine that balances rigorous physical training, spiritual rituals, and unyielding duty to the Emperor of mankind. Space Marines, the Emperor's most elite soldiers, are not mere warriors but living weapons whose existence is entirely dedicated to the defense of the Imperium and the destruction of its enemies. Their lives are marked by extreme discipline, self-sacrifice, and an unwavering commitment to the ideals of their chapter. In the 41st millennium, there is no time for personal leisure or comfort. Every minute is spent preparing for the eternal war that defines their purpose. Morning rituals, spiritual reformation, and preparation. Pre-dawn prayers and liturgies. The day of a Space Marine begins long before the first light of day. Space Marines rise early, often before dawn, to engage in a series of spiritual rituals that are integral to their existence. These prayers and litanies help them mentally and spiritually prepare for the coming day's challenges. The Marine's faith is crucial, as his very purpose is centered on serving the Emperor, a divine figure of worship in the Imperium. These rituals are sacred and tied to the unique nature of each chapter's spiritual practices. In the Ultramarines chapter, the morning begins with the litany of the Emperor's blessing, a prayer for divine protection and strength in battle. This prayer invokes the Emperor's power and emphasizes the righteous nature of the Space Marine's role. The Dark Angels, on the other hand, engage in a prayer of repentance and inner reflection, as their chapter's history is marked by betrayal and secrecy. The ritual includes calls for redemption, and their chaplains ensure that each Marine remembers the sacrifices made during the Great Heresy, a constant reminder of their need for vigilance. These prayers are not just about religious devotion. They are a way for the Space Marines to refocus their minds and souls, aligning them with their purpose as the Emperor's warriors. The ritual acts as a mental shield, preparing the Marine for whatever horrors the day might bring, whether it's training or the heat of battle. Morning firing rites and weapons maintenance. Once the spiritual preparation is complete, Space Marines proceed to the next ritual, the maintenance of their weapons and armor. Weapons are not merely tools to a Space Marine. They are sacred instruments of war, and the daily inspection, cleaning, and repair of these weapons is a ritual as important as any prayer. A Marine's bolter, chainsword, or power fist is an extension of his body, and maintaining these weapons ensures that they are always ready for combat. The Black Templars are notorious for their strict adherence to weapon maintenance. A Black Templar Marine will spend a significant portion of his morning inspecting and maintaining his bolter, often adding personal engravings or symbols of his chapter to the weapon. These weapons, some of which are centuries-old relics, are maintained with a religious fervor. Similarly, the Blood Angels are deeply attached to their relics, often preserving their weapons through countless battles. They even go so far as to conduct personal prayers over their weapons, requesting the Emperor's blessing before going into battle. This process is not just about functionality, it is a spiritual act. The weapon must be flawless to ensure the Marine's survival on the battlefield, but it also symbolizes his role as an instrument of the Emperor's will. To be unprepared is to fail in one's duty, and so every Space Marine, regardless of chapter, will check, clean, and maintain their gear with the utmost care and attention. Physical and combat training, the forge of the Adeptus Astartes. Extreme physical conditioning. Physical training is a constant in the life of a Space Marine. While their genetic enhancements make them stronger, faster, and more resilient than ordinary humans, they must continuously push the limits of their bodies. Every day, they undergo intense physical exercises designed to enhance their already extraordinary capabilities. Their conditioning is grueling and unrelenting. The Space Wolves are known for their brutal training regimes, which are conducted in the harshest environments on their homeworld of Fenris. Here, Marines endure training sessions in freezing temperatures, running across vast tundras while carrying heavy loads, engaging in combat drills, and simulating battle in the snow-covered wastelands. The Iron Hands also push their bodies to the limit, but in a different way. They embrace bionic augmentation, and their training involves pain endurance exercises where they incorporate mechanical limbs into their body, making them even stronger and more durable. The Iron Hands' philosophy is that the flesh is weak and they are willing to endure great suffering to transcend their human limitations. The goal is to prepare the Marine to fight under any conditions, whether it's extreme cold, overwhelming fatigue, or enduring wounds that would cripple lesser men. The physical conditioning ensures that even after hours of fighting, the Marine can continue, driven by sheer will and his enhanced physique. Combat training and tactical drills. The Space Marines are not just trained to be strong, they are trained to fight in a wide variety of scenarios and environments. Combat training is an ongoing process, and Space Marines constantly engage in tactical drills, mock battles, and live fire exercises designed to simulate real-world conditions. Whether in the claustrophobic confines of a starship, the dense forests of a jungle world, or the barren wastelands of a war-torn planet, a Marine must be prepared for any situation. The Blood Angels focus on shock, assault tactics, honing their ability to hit the enemy with overwhelming speed and force. They practice rapid deployment from drop pods and engage in close-quarters combat, often using chainswords and power fists to replicate real battle conditions. On the other hand, the Raven Guard specialize in stealth and guerrilla tactics, training to operate behind enemy lines, using hit and run tactics, and learning how to make the most of terrain for ambushes. These exercises are designed to prepare the Space Marines for the wide range of combat scenarios they might encounter in their service to the Imperium. Regardless of the enemy or battlefield, a Space Marine must be able to respond swiftly and decisively. Combat training also reinforces the bond between brothers in arms, as Marines must learn to work together as a seamless unit, anticipating each other's moves and acting in concert. Maintenance of gear and war relics, sacred duty. Armor maintenance and rituals. A Space Marine's power armor is more than just a suit of protective equipment. It is a sacred relic, a symbol of their status, and a key part of their identity. Armor is carefully maintained and inspected on a daily basis with specific rituals designed to ensure its continued function and to honor its sacred nature. The Salamanders chapter places great importance on the care and maintenance of their armor. For them, this is not just a practical necessity, but a sacred duty. They often conduct rituals over their armor, invoking the protection of their chapter's patron god, Vulcan, and reforging their armor in flames as a way of honoring their god's influence on their lives. The Dark Angels, with their more secretive and monastic nature, treat their armor as a symbol of their penance and honor. The act of repairing or reforging a suit of power armor is a deeply spiritual process, with the Marines' chaplains or tech Marines conducting rites to ensure that the armor is prepared for battle. The maintenance of armor is symbolic of the Space Marines' ongoing commitment to their sacred duty. Power armor protects them from the most dangerous foes the galaxy has to offer, but it also represents their bond with their chapter and the Emperor. It must be cared for as a sacred object, ensuring that the Marine is prepared for battle at all times. Weapon maintenance and rituals. Just as a Space Marine's armor is sacred, so too is his weapon. Each weapon is treated with reverence, undergoing daily maintenance rituals to ensure that it functions flawlessly. Weapons are often relics passed down from previous generations of Marines and carry with them the history and honor of the chapter. In the Black Templars chapter, the bolter is not just a weapon, it is a symbol of their unyielding faith in the Emperor. Each bolter is maintained with great care, often passed down from one generation of Templars to the next. A Marine's chainsword, power fist, or even his bolt pistol will be treated with reverence, cleaned and repaired with personal markings or engravings symbolizing the Marine's achievements. These weapons are sacred extensions of the Marine's being, and their upkeep is a ritual of devotion. Maintaining and personalizing weapons is not only a practical task, but also a form of spiritual connection. The weapon is an extension of the Marine's soul, and its care is a reflection of the Marine's dedication to his chapter and the Emperor. Whether it's a bolter, chainsword, or even a power sword, each weapon is a crucial tool in the Marine's eternal war.